Hey, and welcome to the Nintendo Bros podcast. We're back.
Yes, we are.
We're back. Hello.
Finally, after a long wait.
It's been a little bit of a wait. My name is Pete, and you are?
I'm Derek.
And we are bros, and we're here to talk about Nintendo stuff.
Biological, yes.
Biological, unfortunately. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. So today, what are we doing? We are going to review none other than the game. What's the game? Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight, yeah.
Hollow Knight. So, should you give us a little background first? I mean, I know this review's late. It's been out for a while, but we're going to kind of change the way maybe reviews are done. It's kind of like a review discussion. We're not just going to talk about the game. We're going to talk in a more casual style. And just kind
yeah. So, Hollow Knight first came out on the PC, I believe it was 2017.
Last year, yes.
Oh, no, it might have been, it's either early 2017 or late 2016 even. And then it came out for the Switch last year. And then I think it came out for the Switch late last year, like September or October, November. And then
okay, so the release dates are this: Microsoft Windows, it came out February 2017.
Oh, it came out in 2017. Okay,
then it came out on Mac and Linux. If all you Linux gamers out there, listeners, you got it on April 11th, 2017, 2 months later. And then an entire year later, June 12th, should be an easy date to remember because it's the same day as Nintendo's 2018 E3, we got it on Switch. And September 25th, it just released for PS4 and Xbox One.
September 25th, 2018.
2018, yes.
Yeah. So it came out. I have it on Switch. I'm assuming you have it on the Switch too.
You know I have it on the Switch. You've seen me play it.
Just trying to make dialogue.
Yeah.
But it's so the game is it's kind of a Metroidvania style if for those that know what that is. If not, it's kind of an open world. You can kind of travel in a few directions and get power-ups as you go, and that helps you unlock more of the world.
Great. Yeah, I mean, so I have a little bit of background information here. It's developed by Team Cherry. They're an Australian studio. And
three guys, I think.
I believe it's 3 guys, but I actually read an interesting article today on Game Informer. I don't know if you read it, on the making of Hollow Knight. And it's a really great interview article and then followed by an interview. And they actually got a little bit of Kickstarter money for the last part of development. So it was partially funded by Kickstarter.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they raised $57,000 Australian, I think, which is above their what they were asking for, which allowed them to put in some additional, I guess, some of the DLC and additional segments.
Yeah, I think because all the DLC has been free so far.
Yeah, I mean, I know this is getting beside the review, but I also read, interestingly, that some of the cut content, they had to cut a whole lava area. I can't remember what it was called. I think it was called something brimstone or something bone, fire bone or something. And then, what's it called? Deep Nest?
Yep.
That was apparently supposed to be a lot bigger. So it's a great article. Listeners will include it in the information below. But, okay, overall, so we both bought Hollow Knight, the day it came out?
I bought it the day it came out. You didn't buy it the day it came out.
It was, I think, shadow dropped at E3. I bought it a couple days later, though. It didn't take me long. Like, I didn't wait more than a week.
No, that can't be right because I bought it like a week after, and you took like an extra 2 months.
2 months? I'm going to check my Switch and see, but I think it was soon after that. I mean, it was $15. It was going off
maybe
the
it was
craze.
soon,
I think I bought it
Yeah.
a week later.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wasn't the day, but I was like 2 days after. We were both very early, you're right.
Yeah, and tell me, I mean, you bought it first, so what made you buy it right away?
I bought it because I was just reading some forums and reviews on it, and people just said, like, everybody was saying this game is a masterpiece. Everyone has to play this. This game is like bringing back. It's like the truest form of Metroidvania. It's like the best Metroidvania since Super Metroid. So I was kind of like, okay, this game definitely seems worth playing, and I love that. I love the 2D Metroid games. So I was like, this seems right up my alley, and I just picked it up, and it was cheap. And every single person was also saying the price for content was ridiculous. Like, just the amount you pay for it for how much you get is just insane.
Yep.
So
$15 is an insane. I mean, like I said,
for like a 35+ hour game.
To be honest, I think they could have charged $30 and doubled their profits, and I would have paid $30 and felt like I still got a deal.
Totally, 100%. And I think they could
isn't
have
that
charged.
crazy?
They could have charged $5 for each DLC or $2 for each DLC or even like that.
Oh
And
yeah, I mean, but I still think that the $15 price point really helps help the game get mass appeal.
I agree. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think the price point was important.
and before we jump into what we actually thought of the game, I gotta say it's. I was thinking about all the games I played this year, 2018, and it's pretty rare that all my friends will play one game. I can't remember the last time that happened. Maybe it was Destiny or GTA 5, and I don't
Or
even think
Smash
you played.
Smash Bros. Wii U.
Yeah, and nothing on Wii U because only you and I had that. But I think it was probably GTA 5 that everybody had, and I think you had it too, right? Or you skipped it.
I had GTA 5 for the PS4. Yeah.
Okay, no, so you didn't have it for when it came out for PS3. So you were
No,
years
no.
later. So I
Yeah.
think the last time I remember was maybe I'm trying to think Destiny probably because you played it, Dave played
yeah.
it, Jeff played it. So it was interesting with Hollow Knight because you got it, I got it, Jeff got it, Dave got it, and we've all played it to 100 completion.
Yeah, to completion.
Arguably, my 60% completion. But yeah. So, anyways, I love the game. Just let our listeners know I think it's an amazing game. To me, I'm gonna save the score, my actual out of 10 score, till maybe the end of the review. But I think it's probably my favorite game of the year so far.
Me too, hands
And-
down. Yeah, me too, hands down.
I feel weird saying that because I know it came out last year, so it's like I've never really felt that way about a port. I've always kind of liked the game from the year. So
Yeah.
it's weird to say it's my game of the year when is it kind of your game of last year? How does that work?
No, because I don't think I would enjoy it as much playing it on the PC. And two, I don't know. I see it as it releasing this year. I mean, the sales on the Switch drastically outnumber the sales on the PC. Like
That's
it
not
was a
true.
no-
That's not true. No, the only sales data we have actually is that right before E3, before they Shadow Drop announced it on Switch, it had sold just 1 million copies across PC and Mac. Steam, Windows sales, all that stuff. That was 1 million.
You don't think it's done? You don't think it's done better?
Okay, well, this is the next metric. That in the first 2 weeks of being out on Switch, it sold 250,000 copies.
So maybe it hasn't. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, on one hand, to start off with 250,000 copies to me says it could very easily sell 1 million. But it also says that it could have been the big blast at first and then slowly dripped
Petered
to
out.
400,000. Whatever. Anyways.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Let's talk about the actual game.
Okay.
So I'll jump into my impressions. I know you kind of pushed me. You said it was amazing, so I had kind of this influence. But I kind of was hesitant. Looked like just another 2D game, 2D art style. And immediately I knew it was amazing because the just the motion, how you move, the presentation, and it's 2D, but it kind of works in like a parallax way, where it's like different layers of 2D will move it different in a 3D space almost, and
Yeah.
the background feels like it's in the background, and it's all hand drawn. It's an amazing presentation. The music, the atmosphere, the presentation value brought me in right away. Where, I've mentioned this before. Something like Celeste just did not have that level of presentation. The amazing presentation. I mean, there's some great music in Celeste, but the visuals are not that great. Hollow Knight looks amazing. I'm exploring a world in Hollow Knight. I'm
Yeah, I
part of
totally
something.
agree with that.
I'm not playing complex indie game challenges or level by level this or that. I am in a world, exploring, getting that. I honestly got that feeling from a Metroid game, like that isolation and exploring kind of like a dead world that something else tragic had happened to it, or you know what I mean? It had been overrun by other species. To be honest, I never
a
gave
story.
the
A story had already happened there. I know what you mean.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
that.
exactly. I love that feeling. I love it. That's why I love Breath of the Wild. That's why I love Metroid Prime. Some of my favorite games have that kind of environment, and Hollow Knight did too. So I mean, to be honest, I think Hollow Knight's probably on my top 10 games of all time. I think it's amazing. We will get into maybe our flaws, what we thought about it later. But anyone listening, I think has probably played it. But if you haven't played it, buy it immediately.
Yeah, and give it an hour or two. A lot of one of the biggest complaints, and it's not a big complaint at all, is people say the first hour or two can be slow. Mm-hmm. So get up to at least the second boss, and then you'll realize the game really opens up and You get a lot more mobility.
Yeah, and I think at the very beginning of the game, you do feel extremely lost. Like there's not really any direction.
Yeah.
And there was almost a point where I was like, "Where the hell do I go? I've gone every direction." And you kind of get to that point where like, I don't know if I want to keep going. Luckily, I got past that, but there is that initial point where you just feel lost, and I think you just need to embrace it and say, "Okay, I'm lost. I need to just run around." And when that kind of feeling started kicking in for me, the whole game changed because, so often you start a game, and you go, "Where do I go? What do I do? What's the mission? Where's the checkpoint?" You know what I mean? You're almost not used to this, or you're like, "Okay, well, is it a score based game?" You're like, "No." You're like, "I don't know what to get. I don't know what to do. I don't know what these power ups, how to go any further." And it just starts. You just get lost in it. It just opens up. And still, when I play, I like to just get lost and kind of find new things and find new secrets and find new those slug creatures. And anyways, I'm going on and on. What do you think? What do you think about it? Do you like it?
Yeah, I loved it. I recommended it to you.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like the one of the things that's so noteworthy is the art style, the graphics, just the fluidity of the I don't know if you call them sprites, but the drawings moving in the game. For 3 people to make that whole world hand drawn is just insane to me. It plays well. It doesn't feel clunky at all like some indie games do. I found the challenge, like the difficulty, perfect. It wasn't ever too hard or too easy. Yeah, I really loved everything about it. I loved the open-endedness, like where you can go anywhere, the same as you. But I also loved. I just loved the lore, like the story behind it, where you don't really get the full sense. You kind of mentioned this, where you kind of jump into the middle of a story, but it's like you're kind of piecing together this world. And it isn't thrown in your face and so obvious, like, oh, like this bad guy destroyed the world, stopped their evil. It's kind of like it just gives you breadcrumbs, and you kind of have to piece some things together.
Sorry to interrupt you, but can you tell me what the story actually is? Because I didn't really grasp it.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure if I played it again and really thought about it or read some YouTube videos, but I think it had something to do with
read some YouTube videos, reading YouTube videos, or watching.
Watch. I think the character you play is I want to say the prince, and his father was the king of Hollow Nest or the city, and
his father.
I think you play the prince. I think, and a plague infects the city, and that's the orange stuff that keeps infecting, and then they seal away the thing creating the plague. Which is the Hollow Knight basically stops the plague, and then it gets infected, and he gets banished or sealed away. And those 3 guardians with the 3 masks are the things that are like the keys to sealing him away, something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, spoiler. At the very end, when you beat this Hollow Knight, you become the new one. At least in my ending.
Yeah, spoiler. You haven't beaten the game fully.
Yeah, I know there's different endings. So, have you beaten the game absolutely 100%?
I've beaten the game 109% out of 115. There's like the last few percent I have to do is a boss rush mode that is just so insanely hard that I can't do it.
Okay, so you basically have 100% of the game.
Yeah, I've done all the things you can do outside of one of the DLCs. That is the newest DLC I haven't done.
And that's something that I love about this game too. Is it honestly to me feels like it never ends. It's long. I put 30 hours in on my system.
And there's you've missed, like there's power ups you've missed and bosses you've missed.
Like I'm at the point now where when I play it again, I'm gonna do kind of like I've beaten the game. I have kind of the special power up you need at the end. I'm gonna just kind of do an exploration go right back to what's it called? Dead Dirtmouth?
Yeah, Dirtmouth. The town on the surface?
Yeah, go right back to Dirtmouth and jump down and start and explore the whole world again with my new power-ups and just find everything again and find every little secret and just cleanse it,
Yeah.
But it's just, I feel like so many times I've been playing this game and I feel like it's about to end and I find a whole huge new world. And it just blows me away, the actual length of it.
Like, have you found, I don't want to spoil this, but have you found the beehive?
I don't believe so. No.
Yeah, so like there's a whole area you haven't even seen.
Yeah, it's huge,
Yeah.
and I really like the how the worlds are connected too.
Yeah, me too. And it's like one of the other complaints I've read about is some people don't like how sometimes it can feel slow to traverse the world,
Hmm.
which I understand. Like if you die, sometimes you have to go through like 8 rooms, 9 or 10 rooms just to get through back to your body. But I kind of like that. I kind of like, every time you explore, you see something a little bit different. Sometimes you find a new hidden room or hidden access,
Yep.
and there are ways to travel quickly. So I don't know. I didn't find that a complaint for me.
Yeah, same here. Like I've heard that complaint too, mainly about the bench, right? Like the saving and then dying and losing your geo. And there was a couple times where I lost a significant amount of geo. Like I died and then died before I got my geo back.
Yeah.
And one time I lost over 2,000 geo.
Oh my god. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
so I was really pissed. Let me tell you, very pissed off. But I liked it. Like I like that. I like that risk. Like it makes the game dying feel like it's worth something. Not
Yeah,
everything.
a lot of
but
people compare it to Dark Souls in that
yeah,
sense.
I really like that. It's not like you're gonna lose like a serious power up or something, but you got to be smart when you play. You can't just die.
And there's those moments even out
Bless me. Bless me. Sorry.
there's those moments even outside of boss battles where I don't know if this happened to you, but I had like 1 life and I couldn't heal, and I was like every 3 feet I was just being really careful about a new enemy popping out because I didn't want to lose my geo or have to backtrack, or like I was lost and I didn't have a map and I didn't know how to get back to where I was, so I had to be super careful.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's
Like
another thing with some of the power ups and stuff with the badge. What is it? The badge system, or is that what they call it?
charms.
Charms. Every game has a new name for the same thing. But anyway, you know what I mean. It's like it's the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
thing. Badge, charm,
Coins, rupees, I gotcha.
whatever. Anyways, at first I was kind of like, okay, whatever. I usually ignore that kind of thing. Like I don't like spending time in menus, and I'm kind of like, oh, all these charms I gotta put on and wear, and I'm like, no. I'm like, I like the simplicity of just running around and doing what I have to do. But later in the game, I started to start to test them, and then you realize how much they affect your gameplay style, and it really becomes really fun to customize and kind of find your favorite ones to use. Also, which ones to bring into bosses, which ones to have for
Yeah.
safe exploration, whatever.
And they have hidden synergies too. So if you mix certain ones, it'll add a bonus effect that isn't told. So it's kind of like nice to mix and match.
I didn't
and
even
find,
know that. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
That's really cool. Like some of them make you move really much faster. So I really enjoyed it, like almost every part of this game.
What about the things you didn't like?
Okay, so there is one thing I didn't like about the game, and it's when you fast travel, and I can't remember what it is. It's like that giant cricket bug creature. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
So when you go into like ring the
I know
bell
what
and it comes,
I know what you're gonna say.
your first instinct is to just jump right in the saddle. Just jump and land in the saddle, but then you can't, and you have to stand on the platform next to the traveling beetle creature and just press up. And I get it, like pressing up is how you talk to everybody else, but it just kind of took me out of the game for a second. So I think they should patch that in, fix that, and then the game will be perfect. But yeah, what about you?
So the only place that I really felt was kind of disjointed to the rest of the game, and you haven't gotten this place, so minor spoilers. But there's an area of the game where it's very platform heavy. Like the whole thing is a very difficult platforming and has no enemies. It's all just platforming,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't really get trained in the game to be that skilled at the platforming that they expect you to be in that moment of the game.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
yeah, and it's actually you need it to 100% the game. So, and I was fine because I just had finished Celeste and I feel comfortable platforming or whatever, but it didn't feel like it was really congruent with the rest of the game where you're fighting enemies, leveling up, exploring. This was like, are you good at how this character maneuvers in a platforming setting? So it wasn't bad, and I didn't hate it. It was more just like, this isn't really on theme with what I went into this game wanting.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I mean, it is extra, so it should be a little bit harder.
It's extra, and I mean, again, it's still for the 100%, but it's not so much the extra or the difficulty. It's more just that it really had nothing to do with what the game really was. Like, it's so, like, you have to get there to understand, but it's like it's so heavily platforming.
I can't even imagine what it's like because I feel like I know the ins and outs of the about you of your movement so well. Like,
Yeah, but it's like blades and spikes going everywhere. So you have to double jump, dash, downward slash out of a spike to double jump. It's like it's very platform heavy.
that's actually kind of cool that they put that in though.
It's cool, and it's like,
optional.
again, I actually it wasn't like it was bad or hard for me. It was more just this wasn't really. It just felt kind of
Out of place.
out of place. Yeah, it just kind of didn't really fit
interesting.
into the. Yeah, you got to get there. You'll see when you get there.
Okay. Did you think the game was a little bit too hard? I mean, some of the bosses I thought could have maybe been toned down a bit. They were a little bit ridiculous. Like sometimes I just couldn't believe how long I had to hit these enemies.
I don't think a single boss in the main game or even the first, like the 108% are too hard, but I think the new DLC with the boss rush mode is ridiculous. Like it's like so much harder than any other part of the game.
Well, is it that you have to beat every single boss on one tank of life or one?
So they have that boss rush mode where you have to beat all the bosses, and they get like, it's the first one's like, oh, the first 10 bosses, then it's like the second 10 bosses, then the third 10 bosses, then it's like all 30, and it's like all 30 plus 5 more. And then it's like every single one of those you can remove, like you can like penalize yourself to make it harder, like, oh, you only get 5 lives, or oh, you don't get any charms, or oh, you don't get dash, or like weird things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But also you can fight each boss again individually, and there's 3 difficulties. So you can fight them the normal way, like just fighting the boss again. You can fight them in a hard mode, and then you can fight them in the hard mode with you can only be hit once. And
that's ridiculous.
I know, so I've done a few of them because like some of them,
That isn't,
and like
to
there's.
me though, that's not really part of the main game. That's almost just like.
But
hey,
there, I know, but there are like 4 or 5 bosses in that zone that don't exist in the normal game that are wicked, and I really encourage people to play.
That's lame that they tucked them away inside of a boss rush mode.
Well, I mean, it's not a boss rush mode, right? It's like there's also boss select mode.
I've got to say, in my lifetime as a gamer, one of the things I like the least in games is when at the end of the game you have to fight every boss. And this is something that's made me turn off and not complete multiple games when I got to that end part.
Yeah, this isn't quite like that.
Padding.
I mean,
It's padding. I know in this game you don't have to do it, but I think
and
that
I also don't
experience
find
is
this padding. This game like did it. I think this game did it really well.
Well, it's just I get it for the super hardcore people who want to test their skills. That's very cool, but to me,
Like I'll give you an example.
Really,
Like the mantis lords that you have to fight 2 at once.
yeah.
They have on the hard mode of this one. You fight all 3 at once, which is like a really wicked fight.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean,
I'm just saying. I don't know. It's like I didn't find the boss rush mode being like, oh, it's tacked on or like annoying. It was really cool.
I just mean I probably won't. I'll probably try it once. You know what I mean?
I don't even. I want you to do the 100% of the real game because you're missing some sweet fights in that.
Yeah, the bosses are amazing.
Yeah, you haven't. Oh my gosh, there's so much to the game you still haven't done. It's
I
like
know,
how do you even fairly review it knowing how much you haven't done?
Well, I thought that was part of our thing is that we don't always have to 100% a game to have a review discussion.
No, totally, of course.
And I even think we will talk about games where we actually shouldn't. We haven't finished it. Maybe we're only 10 hours in, but it's our current review. It's how we're feeling at that point. Because I can't play games full time. Neither can you. So we got to talk them as we see them and play them.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I agree.
Anyways, okay. So let's conclude this review here and talk about what our final score is.
Okay. Do you want to go first or me?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I give it a 10 out of 10.
That's what I'm giving it.
And it's funny that the first review on our channel we're both giving a 10, but the bar
It really is that good of a game.
It really is. And the review, the bars is that high. What can I say? I mean, it's 2018.
Yeah, I give it a 10 out of 10, and I agree with you. It's currently my game of the year. I think the only chance it gets dethroned as Smash Bros. Definitely in my top 15 games of all time. So and it's definitely a game I plan to replay in a year or two.
Yeah, you know what? Truthfully, as much as I love Smash Bros. As a staple, I
know it can't really. I know that's what I mean. I can't really. I have trouble making Smash Bros. The game of the year.
It's almost like if games were like a dinner you have at a restaurant, so you can review them, and Smash Bros. Is just water.
What?
Because you just need it always. You know what I mean?
No, I would no. To me, Smash Bros is like, you know, the appetizer that's like all 6 appetizers on one giant plate.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's like it's obviously going to be good and has everything there, but it's like, how can you say that's the best appetizer when it's just an amalgamation of all the other appetizers?
Yeah, but because of the quality of the gameplay in Smash Bros, each one of those appetizers would be better than any other dish. Right? What dish is truly better than those appetizers? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I mean, it's amazing. 60 frames per second, 1080, like it's...
Okay, this is not even... Anyways.
Let's do a review of Smash Bros. Right now, 10.
It hasn't even come out yet. But yeah, it's Hollow Knight, it's like a 10 out of 10. It's like a filet mignon on the menu, that's what I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great game. Highly recommended. Readers and listeners, while reading the YouTube video, let us know what you think of Hollow Knight. Let us know why you didn't buy it if you haven't played it or choose not to. Definitely buy it right away. And also let us know your thoughts. Please like, comment, subscribe, support the channel because Lord knows we need it.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Nice to get, you know, three-digit views. But yeah, Hollow Knight's a great game. I give it a 10, you give it a 10, and stay tuned to our channel for some more reviews of indie games.
Yep, have a good one.
All right, good night.